Is Turbo Bolt just the way to play Bolt going into this rotation? With rotation finally here, a lot of big staple cards that helped a lot of decks really accelerate have rotated away, leaving the format in a very slow, nice place, I think. Decks like Dragapult can take a little longer to set up. Cards like Badoo help slow the roll of your opponent being able to set up using item lock, which leaves a very interesting position, especially as we hit this first regional of the rotation in Atlanta, where it's seemingly a lot of people are going to be playing decks like Dragapult, decks like Tera Box, potentially some walls, and it leaves us in a really interesting position for Raging Bolt. A lot of the ways Raging Bolt has been seen up to this time has been similarly slow going, with the Knocked Owl Hoot Hoot build to allow you to, search out cards in your deck. But instead, what if we went a more turbo route, utilizing stuff like the Pokemon Catcher to force things into active, Crispin to quickly set up a turn to attack, and cards like Bravery Charm to keep us alive from big hitters like Terapagos, or sometimes Lily's Clefairy, although it's a weakness, so it's unlikely, but it just depends on what the board state looks like. So that is the deck we have here. I have been grinding this deck hard the last few days, and I think I have locked in that this is what I'm taking to Atlanta. So let's just run through the deck, and then we'll play a couple games. So starting with our basics, our main attacker being that Raging Bolt. 240 HP with the Bellowing Thunder attack. Discard energy attached to any of your Pokemon. For each energy discarded, it's 70 damage. 4 energy hits that 280, which for the most part takes out the majority of Pokemon, especially a lot of other basic EXs. You occasionally do need that 5th energy, especially if you're going up against something like a fully evolved Dragapult, and even the Mirror if they are using a Bravery Charm or the Ancient Booster capsule. But Raging Bolt setups really quickly, can do a lot of damage. And we also have that Burst Roar to discard our hand if we brick turn 1, and can allow us to reset our hand. Leading into our Ogerpons, I almost said Ogre Mask. The Teal Mask Ogerpon, once per turn you can attach a grass energy to it and draw a card. Doesn't count as your attach for turn, which allows that energy acceleration for then Raging Bolt to make use of discarding and hitting big while still cycling through your deck. We're playing 4 of each of those. We're playing 2 Squawkabillys. Basically the reason we play 2 is so that way we can try and get one down in our first turn to reset our hand, get some energies into the discard pile, and hopefully set up our board state so that way our second turn, if we're forced to go first, or still in that first turn if we're going second and can use supporters, to Sada or Crispin out some energy to make an attack. Then we move into kind of our supporter cards, such as Mew for that restart to get stuff back into our hand, that free retreat to pivot around with the Prime Catcher, and stuff like that. We can potentially genome hacking, especially with a Crispin. It takes a couple turns, and a lot of situations it's just not going to be worth it. We probably aren't going to see it. We then have our Fezandipiti for the flip the script if our Pokemon got knocked out the last turn. Draw 3 cards. We have Iron Bundle, just for that Hyper Blower ability to force your opponent to switch out their active. Can really help early game, especially if you're going up against an Evo deck they've left like Badoo inactive and have a single Dreepy on bench. Can Hyper Blow it around, take a snipe. They can keep Badooing us, but they don't have an Evo the next turn. And then we have 2 specific tech cards to help us out in some matchups. We have the Slitherwing. This is pretty much here to destroy any Pikachu EXs that we'll see in such decks as like the Tera Box, as well as it can help in a lot of cases taking a knockout of a Fezandipiti. The Burning Turbulence for 2 fighting energy does 120 damage. You do 90 damage to yourself, but it leaves your opponent burned. Pikachu EX for 1 is weak to fighting, so this hits over 200 damage for the Pikachu. Due to Pikachu EX's ability, drops it down to 10 health left. It's burned though, so in Pokemon Checkup it gets knocked out. Worth noting that if a Pokemon dies during Pokemon Checkup either by a burn or by poison damage, they don't get to use Fezandipiti to flip the script, as the Pokemon was not knocked out during my turn, their opponent's turn. It was knocked out during checkup, which is very interesting. We can also utilize this in some other instances. Stomp off, potentially, if we're really bricked at the beginning for one fighting, we can force them to discard their top card. Could be interesting if we're up against a Goldango or a Slow King, and they have like Cypher Maniac, Codebreaker at the end of their last turn, and we're bricked so we can't take a knockout. We can force them to discard whatever it was they were trying to prep. Then we have our other tech in, which is the Cornerstone Mask, Ogerpon EX. This guy's basically here just to deal with walls with their ability Cornerstone Stance, prevent all damage done to us by Pokemon that have an ability, which is all the attackers in walls, as well as the Demolish. It hits through any effects on them, so it can't be stopped by like Cornerstone Stance, or the in walls, their abilities that like Tera Pokemon can't attack them or EX Pokemon can't attack them. There are other situations where we can see this come into play, especially to help slow us down, maybe if we get stuck in a matchup against like Archlodon, because they do have an ability, but primarily it is there for the walls. Moving into our supporters, we have 4 Professor Sadas. Playing the supporter, we can target 2 of our ancient Pokemon and attach an energy to each of them from our discard pile. Sometimes you only are able to target 1, but you can target up to 2. No matter what, you draw 3 cards. You do have to have energy in the discard, though, to use this, as well as an ancient Pokemon on your bench. Then we have 1 Boss's Order for gusting effects to move stuff around. We have 1 Crispin, which allows us to take 2 different energy cards from our deck, put 1 in our hand, attach 1 to a Pokemon, and then we can attach again, and allows for that turn 1 attack, or as well just to get some energy moving out and get a grass energy into our hand to Teal Dance while attaching something like that. 4 Nest Balls for basic search, 3 Ultra Balls for Pokemon search, as well as putting energy into the discard, 2 Switches to help move us around if we get locked in active, 4 Earthen Vessels to discard a card to search for 2 energy, another good way to put energy into our discard pile. We have 2 Bravery Charms. These give our basic Pokemon plus 50 HP. This is going to be super helpful, both in the Mirror match, in the Tera Box matchup, as well as the Slow King matchup, to give us a little bit more bulk onto our benched Pokemon, or even our active Raging Bolt, just to force them to have to do a little bit more to get a knockout to hopefully keep us ahead in the prize trade. We have 3 Pokegears, allowing us to search the top 7 cards of our deck and take a supporter from there to search out the Professor Sadas, the Boss's Orders, the Crispins. We have 2 Cycling Roads as our stadium cards. Once per turn, I can discard an energy from my hand and draw a card, again helping to just cycle through the deck since we don't have stuff like Trekking Shoes or Pokestop anymore. We have 3 Pokemon Catchers. Flip a coin. If heads, switch your active Pokemon. Basically Boss's Order, but it just requires some finessing with the luck. Prime Catcher, switch my active and their active to whoever I want. We can use Prime Catcher in tandem with like a Mew, so that then we can retreat back into our attacker. Stuff like that. Again, just more gust to help us look for knockouts. We have 3 energy retrievals, allowing us to pull 2 energy from our discard pile, put them into our hand, potentially pulling back 2 grasses to Teal Dance, you know, that last electric we need to get an attack off. Or maybe we're just pulling to use a Cycling Road to continue cycling through our deck for that one last card we need. And then for our energy, we have 6 Grass, 3 Lightning, and 3 Fighting. All in all, I've been having some pretty good runs with this. I've been tracking all of my recent plays over the last couple days, and Turbo Bolt definitely seems to be the play right now for this meta. It could change after this regional, and it could, between now and the regional, everything could shift again with the Japan Champions League just happening, and Dragapult winning that once again. And I think there was also a Guardy in the second. I think Guardy got second place in that one. So we could definitely see a meta shift before then. But I do think going into this, definitely something more turbo that can start taking prize cards early and can also start moving, gusting Pokemon around to get those early attacks going turn 2. A lot of decks right now going into this rotation want to go first so they can set up their Hoot-Hoots to evolve in their second turn, which gives us the benefit of being okay going second, because, not okay, we want to go second so that way we can get an attack off, but we're also not upset if we go first, because it's unlikely with our large HP that someone can take an early knockout turn 2. There are some in the mirror, of course they could, But in a lot of other decks, they're going to have to do a lot of work if they're going second to be able to get that attack off. And even if we go first, we're at least putting down energy. We're using our items to dig through our deck to set up a turn 2 Sada to actually start taking prizes. So that's the deck list. Let's play a couple games and see how it goes. Opponent is going to be calling the coin flip here. Again, honestly, we're hoping to win the coin flip. That way we can just choose to go second. But there has been plenty of times I've lost the coin flip and still gotten to go second, since so many decks right now are wanting to go first. They have won the coin flip, and we will see what they give us. Do they give us second? They do indeed give us second, which is exactly the position we want to be. They are very dark energy themed, which could give us some insight as what they are. I like to start Bolt active, that way I don't have to do any switching. Honestly, not a terrible starting hand. We can get this energy into the discard using the Ultra Ball, grab out a Squawkabilly, attach a Bravery Charm, potentially Pokemon Catcher, if they run this Fezandipiti away. But anybody Charms, I'm thinking Zoroark, just because of all the dark energy, all the dark energy theming here. Which, if it is a Zoroark, there is a world where we might not want to take 2 prizes here, depending on how they end their turn, what's left on their bench, either taking out, if there's only a singular Zoroark, taking it off. They get down to, of course, or not a singular Zoroark, they're Buddy Poffing, if there's a singular, like Darmaku, because Zoroark can attack unless there is a... Oh, they don't go for the retreat, they're giving me the 2 prizes. Interesting. And the Prime Catcher. So the thing is, with In's Darmaku here, if I kill this Darmaku next turn, they can't do any attacks other than... I mean, I guess if they played out another one, they can do Rolling Flame, but who really cares about that? So I think first things first, Ogerpon, Cornerstone isn't going to really do a lot in this matchup because I need to be doing damage here. So let's go ahead and look at what we've got prized. We have our Fez, Bundle, Mew, 3 other Bolts, Slitherwing. Both Squawks are there. I think that is everyone that we're looking for. Cornerstone we threw away. So that's prized. Ooh, 2 Sadas are prized. That's not great. And Energy Retrieval is prized. An Ultra Ball is not prized because we're using it. An Earthen Vessel is prized. And 1 of each energy. No, that's thrown away. Just 1 energy is prized. Alright, so we'll grab Squawkabilly here. We know they're going for snipe damage. They're going 90-90 if they get off the attack here. So I think we're going to charm our Squawkabilly. Man, I really wish we could utilize the Prime Catcher, but I think we're going to have to throw it away. Because the likelihood of us being able to get something back into active... Because we could Prime Catcher, but if we do hit the Prime Catcher here... I would have to get a switch card or burn an energy to get out of active. So we're going to go for the Pokemon Catcher first. If I can get heads... I really don't want to waste the... I don't want to throw the Prime Catcher away, but I also don't want to get myself locked in a position where I can't get an attack off because I'm stuck in active. Alright. Love you, Prime Catcher. Alright, probably for the best, because we did not get anything. If we had Mew last turn, we would have been in a better position. Alright, we could bundle here, but if we bundle, they're just going to give us a Zeora. I do wish I had another... I wish I had another Raging Bolt I could target with this Zoroark. No, I only have 1 energy in the discard. What am I talking about? I only have 1 energy. Alright, so we'll do that. Draw 3 cards. We have Crispin for next turn, which is really nice. I might throw away a Pokegear here to Ultra Ball. No, I think I'm okay with this hand. I'll have to throw away all 3 of these energies, but we will take the 2 prize lead. And they also don't get Fez draw, so I think I'm okay to do this. If they only had like 1 Zeora down, I would risk the bundle. But I don't think it's worth the risk here. So just in case our hand gets destroyed, I want to get another Raging Bolt onto the bench. We have lost our Prime Catcher, so we need to keep that in mind that we are kind of screwed if it comes to having to search for things. I'm going to keep this Pokegear. I don't want to throw it away because Professor Sada... with only, I mean, we could get one off the prizes here, but Professor Sauter is going to be a lot more helpful to us next turn than I think. I mean, Crispin could be helpful. Just depends on what we get off, because if we get Crispin, we Earthen Vessel for Grass Energy, we still get back 3. We should be okay. Get Asada back, which is really nice. Really helpful there. We did get a turn to attack off, which is nice. But yeah, I'd love to also know if you all are enjoying these types of videos. This is my third kind of deck overview video that I've been doing, playing a couple of. If you're enjoying it, please let me know in the comments. Let me know if there's any specific decks you want to see. Like I've also said kind of in the intro of all of these videos, I am going to the Atlanta Regional. This is going to be my first time ever playing in a major tournament. This is my first season also playing the competitive Pokemon TCG. So far, I have won a challenge and second placed a cup. So I'm really excited to see how I do in my first, major. So they did go for the Petrarch EX here, so that way they can go for a TM Evo, targeting these two right here. I mean, honestly, that feels pretty bad for them. That feels really bad for them to be this slow, not take a single prize card. I would love to target this in Zoroark if we can manage it, which I think we can. I think we pretty easily should be able to. We have enough energy in here that we can target both of our bolts here. We have energy in hand, which is nice. Set that up for a next turn. Boss is ordered, but we can't do anything with it. But, you know, it is nice. I think we'll Nest Ball for another pawn. We will Earthen Vessel to grab 2 basic grass. What we're looking for here, what we're digging for are these Pokemon catchers, basically, is to try and get this in Zoroark into active. I want to keep the boss. I think we just throw away lightning energy because I'll attach this fighting energy. We probably won't end up using the cycling road though, unless we just draw into more energy, which is okay. I'd rather have energy on board than, of course, in the discard pile. We'll see what's happening. We will see what happens here. Another Ogerpon, not what we want to see. One more draw here. We got our own Fezandipiti. Not terrible. I mean, I think we're still going to take the knockout. Because their Fez is their inactive. Or we could just pass. I think we still take the knockout because there is a world where they might leave this inactive at some point. And we only need 1 prize. Like, there is a world next turn where I would prefer them not to have other Zoros down. So I think we definitely take the knock. We just throw away one of those. Throw away one of our grass energies. Take the knock, because there is a world where they leave this inactive, and we have to take it. If they had Fezandipiti on bench still, I'd be a little more like, I don't want to give them Fez draw, but they would have to use a stretcher for it. Go on the Hourglass. The Iono's fine for us here, because I have energy on board to get an attack off. And I don't think they can hit the 240. Not with the if they had the Defiance ban, I think they could hit the 240. But I believe with this, I don't think there's a world where they can hit the 240. How much energy do I have in discard? I only have 3 energy in discard, so 3 times 30 is 90. 90 doesn't get it, because this, while Flame Body Cannon doing 90 to active and then 90 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon is great, this Backdraft ability to do 30 damage for each basic energy in my discard pile is pretty solid, is a good way to knock it out. So we do need to be cognitive of how much energy we leave in our discard pile. Are they really going for a buddy? They're going for a Badoo play here? Oh man, that Iono now sucks. I would have had Boss in hand. Now Boss is at the bottom of our deck. There's no way to dig for it. We do at least take another knockout here. And the Pokemon catcher in hand. It's fine. We take the knockout here. They don't have a way to do 240 next turn as far as I'm aware. And then this just puts us on the even. We just need 2 prizes for victory. I mean, we get another energy in there. That's still 120 damage total for using the Backdraft. I think this is just... I think they just bricked early. They didn't get enough set up. They've gone too long without taking a prize. I believe if we were playing at the table right now in the best of 3 format, for those of you who don't know, if you've not played in a regional, different than how your local leagues go, your league challenges and your league cups before Top Cut, a regional the entire day is best of 3 formats. So I do think one of the biggest things to keep in mind, since you are working against a time limit, is knowing when to scoop and go to your next round. I definitely think this is a situation where they would probably want to scoop. They're going to go for the counter catcher play here, which means they could get a knockout on an Ogerpon. They could take 2 prizes here in active. Because they are fire. We are weak to fire with ours. So they do take 2 prizes. But it doesn't matter if we can flip heads. If we can flip heads on the Pokemon catcher, doesn't matter. Shoot. I really hope our top deck is something that allows us to reset our deck. Like, oh man, Ultra Ball top deck would be incredible. An Ultra Ball top deck would be incredible to search for Fezandipiti and also reset our hand, or reset the deck. Oh! Okay. So Professor Sada is still going to be our play. I'm trying to look to see if we can even work our hand down in any way to 3 cards. I don't think so, because we have 6 cards in hand. There's no way we can play 6 of them. Honestly, if we just flip a heads, we win. Flip heads. No! Worth a shot, you know, worth a shot. Alright, well, Professor Sada's... We're still in a really good position next turn because they don't have really much of an attack they can do. They have no Ins Pokemon on their bench. So we're still in a pretty okay spot here. We're going to go for a Teal Dance. We're searching for the other Pokemon catcher. Just to take the game this turn. Boss's Order. This does reset it. We can't use it this turn because we have already used a supporter. Before I do this, no, I was like, can I get down to 3 now? I can't. So let's go for a Flip the Script. Let's go for a Earthen Vessel here. Grab out any other energy that's in here. Ultra Ball. You away. Sure. Doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to thin the deck for this singular draw to draw into the Pokemon catcher. We have 1 more in deck. No, but we got the boss for next turn. Again, not super duper helpful there. We'll throw up the 1 at full health. We do have a decent amount of energy in our discard, so here's what we're awesome. Which they can't set any of that up for next turn because this guy's going to be dead. So we shouldn't have to worry about that. Shouldn't have to worry about that. Although if there was a worry of it, 7140. If there was a worry about it, we could energy retrieval and put those back into our hand, so that way they couldn't benefit off of it. But this should just be GG. There's no way for this deck to take 4 prizes. Currently, there's no way for this deck to attack because Night Joker requires a benched Ins Pokemon. The only basic Ins Pokemon that can actually do decent damage is Ins Reshiram, which that, I believe, only does 170 damage. Hyper Aroma was their ace spec. Search Up's 3 stage 1s when they were able to use it. The Ino here, again, doesn't matter. I have enough energy on board for knockout. There's Ins Reshiram, 170. That's what it is. They're going for a trade here to thin their deck. I don't know what they're searching for. There's no other Ins Pokemon right now that do anything. And again, it doesn't matter. I have energy on board for the 280 knockout. As this doesn't benefit health, it just allows them an attack and energy. We do 280 damage right now. So it's just GG. I think they definitely bricked early, but also I just don't think In's deck is very good. It can definitely hit for some big power, and it's just that there isn't enough options. I think if Zoroark had at least another attack, even if it wasn't a big attack, if it just had like one other attack other than just attacking from its benched Pokemon, it would be better. Because you end up in a position like I think they were, where it's truly they just bricked and weren't able to get enough In's Pokemon set up, which allows a deck like Raging Bolt to go turbo and just start taking prize cards. You love to see it. Opponent is going to go ahead and call the coin flip here. What do you typically call? I personally always choose heads. They've chosen tails. I always go for heads. Just why not? Hey, they win their coin flip. What are they choosing to do? Are they going first or are they going second? They are going first. See, that's what. Even when I don't win the coin flip, I win the coin flip. Definitely did not win. That was just being hit with instant karma. Starting bundle inactive. They are taking a mulligan. Superior Energy Retrieval, Cypher Maniacs, Boss. I think this is Goldango? Pretty sure it's Goldango. I don't know anything else that's playing Superior Energy Retrieval. Not another basic. Yeah, it is Goldango. Which does mean they aren't going to get a donk on me turn 1 for only having a 100 HP basic. 2 more Gimme Ghouls onto their bench. Alright, so low-key, this might be a nest ball for a Squawkabilly angle. Cycling Road, throw away energy to see if we can get something else more helpful. Yikes. That's a lot of energy we're throwing away too, but it's not a huge deal since we recover a lot of energy. Okay, Mew is something. Which we can at least use our switch card now. Switch card. It's not switch cart that rotated out. Alright. For them, 2 ogres are prized. Yikes. It's fine. I only need 2. Other nest balls there. I'm throwing away a Pokegear, so we have a Pokegear prized. And 2 energy prized as well. Yikes. Alright, this sucks. This does not feel good. This does not feel good, gang. Okay, we can at least potentially play. We can potentially play here depending on what we get off the Sada, because we do get energy. Depending on what Sada gives us. Sada, please give me something helpful. Please give me something helpful. Alright, so I have 2 electric in discard, so should I attach fighting? What's the... No, because there's one of each in there. I was like, what's the odds that if I attach electric and then off this I pull a fighting? But one of them is prized. These are the only 2 I have. Oh, actually, these are the only 2 I have. And the other one's in there. Let's just go with that. Okay. Pretty sure that sucks. But I think we can do something with this. I think we can at least get a Mew restart. I can Ultra Ball away the other switch. Man, all of our gears are going to be gone. Except the one that's prized. That feels bad. Get ourselves another pawn. I hate not having 2 bolts down, but we can also throw this bundle away at literally any point in time, because I don't think this bundle is really going to matter here. Where does this Bravery Charm matter, though? Because how much do they hit for? It's 50 times? So, I mean, it really... I think it helps most on the Raging Bolt. Or on the Mew, but I think definitely the Raging Bolt forcing to throw more energy at me. So let's do that. Let's use our Pokemon Catcher. I don't care what it gets here because they're all the same thing. This is just to get my hand below 2. So we can hit the restart for 2, hoping for... Hoping for that. That is the sadness of the Turbo Ogerpon, though. When it bricks, it bricks. But again, this is the same thing that, you know, would happen in any tournament, like we were talking about last game. There's a world where we could sit here and see how this turn goes for them. I think it would be too early right now to say GG, let's go next, because they could also brick their next turn, their follow-up turn. It's going to be tough, though, because Golden Go gets a lot of search. They will get an attack off this turn pretty easily with that Energy Search Pro in hand. If they were to kill, like, our Raging Bolt here, it would also feel really bad. But because of what we have in our hand, we have Professor Sada, so we know we can get an attack off this next turn. And honestly, probably would have been better to charm the Mew and force them to throw another energy away for that. Alright, so we're going to send up Bolt. We are behind in the prize trade, but that doesn't mean anything. We can always come back. Hey, just what we were hoping to see. Another Bolt, which means we can attach 2 energy. So we will throw Fighting Energy there so we can get an attack. Electric Energy there. Draw 3. Hey, cards we can use. What a concept. Cards we can use. An Earthen Vessel. That's a card we can use. Just what we're looking for. We do have enough for the knockout now. We have 350, so I think we just take the knock here. I don't think there's anything else we really want to do at this point. There's nothing else I'm searching for here. I'm okay knocking the one that's inactive that has energy. Obviously don't want to bundle, but we could. I mean, we could bundle Nest Ball for Fezandipiti to get draw power, but if we bundle, they're going to give us the Gimme Gold for a singular prize. So we just take the knockout here and hope that they don't have their own knockout in their hand. That's a joke. They obviously will. So we got to send up 4 cards here. I think we just give them the 2 energy here. That way we keep energy on our one who's most likely going to make the attack next turn. But even if they don't, we can cry. That's 280. That's a knockout. Do you have selections to make? I think the only selection I still had to make was, like, if I wanted to bundle. That's the only selection I still had to make. Oh, never mind. It's because I could have grabbed an additional energy, which I didn't need the additional energy. Alright, not a terrible follow-up hand here, if it doesn't get disrupted. Could get disrupted. I wish I had Sada in hand, though. But we can at least Earthen Vessel away the Ultra Ball to search out energy, so that way we don't waste our time. We don't waste our draws on energy. Nest Ball for Fezandipiti. We'll at least stay with them on the prize trade, but, I mean, again, Golden Go is just such a good deck. Us whiffing that turn 1, which even in that turn 1, we would have only taken 1 prize card. So, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it would have been great for us. In the grand scheme, it would have been great for us. I think, honestly, what might be a incredible... Man, if we still had Mew... Honestly, like, attacking with Slitherwing could be great onto Fezandipiti. If I pop Fez, or if I pop Bundle, who do you think they give me? Do you think they give me the Fez? I knew they would have the energy for it, so that's why I threw all of our energy there. I mean, I have no way to get it into active, though, other than... I need 4 energy, so I need to just send up Bolt that's there, because I need to just take the knock. I need to just take the knock. Both of my switches are gone, but if I send this up, attach, retreat... I mean, maybe this is the Cornerstone play, and force them to have to gust for the knock. But we know they play boss. Try and force it? Man, I don't know. Throw away the Cycling Road, because it's probably going to be the last turn for us, no matter what happens here. This is probably our last turn. But I really do think Slitherwing could be the play, because it does knock out the Fez, giving us 2 prizes. I think it is the play. I think it is the play. So first off, let's just free up space on our bench and let's do the Hyper Blower and hope they give us the Fezandipiti. They don't. Okay, so now we're going to need the Pokemon Catcher to go for it. Let's go. Alright, we get Fezandipiti in the action. Then we're going to... really going to go for it here. We're going to Nest Ball Slitherwing down. We are going to Professor Sada. Put Fighting Energy onto you. What is on? Oh, dang. Raging Bolt, you really don't need the Electric Energy, so I'll just put Grass Energy onto you for the discard for later. You already have an Electric Energy on you. Just put Grass Energy onto you. We definitely don't need the Squawk. Definitely don't need the Earthen Vessel. Grab Fez. Play down Fez, because anything else is an easy knockout for them anyway, so I'm not worried about putting 2 prizers on there that they can take out. That gets us the retreat and Slitherwing. We attach for turn. We're going to Teal Dance here, just to have energy on the field. And then we're going to Fez flip the script draw to dig through our deck. Cycling Road. I'm really just trying to get myself in a position for next turn to be able to do something. Energy Retrieval is something we need in hand. Alright. Alright. Let's see if this works out for us. Knocks them out. We take 2 prizes. They now have to Gust for the return, and they don't have Fez draw. If they have Boss in hand, though, it doesn't matter. They only need 3 energies for a knockout on Squawkabilly. Or, they go for the Hyper Blower! No! Oh, no! Dang. We should have had Ogerpon down. We should have had Ogerpon, the Cornerstone Ogerpon, Hyper Blower into Cornerstone, and then Laugh. This is just GG for them. They're gonna Cypher Maniacs, the... 2 Superior Energy Retrieval on the top of their deck. Man, that actually would have been a such better play. That would have been a such better play to have the Cornerstone on there. I honestly wasn't expecting the bundle. I was expecting them to Boss. I still think, because I was like, they have to Cypher Maniacs, yeah, man. I don't think we needed the Fez draw there. I was trying to set up too much for the next turn when I should have just been considering this turn. But I think that honestly, that was a pretty good show. But the best thing about a lose like this, especially when it's just, here on TCG Live, is that this is just learning. This is just stuff that I can take into like this actual matchup and be like, what should I have prepared? And it's definitely the Cornerstone. The Cornerstone on bench, I think would have... can you imagine? Would have been so cool. Would have been so cool. That is it for the Turbo Raging Bolt. Definitely let me know in your comments down below. Do you think this build is better than the Noctowl engine? I personally think right now it's better. I think probably in a month it might be the Owls, just because as other decks start to ramp up in different ways, especially when we have Destined Rivals coming out with a Team Rocket set, I definitely think the Noctowls are going to be necessary to really get those plays going. But I think right now, the way the meta currently is sitting, a turbo build is definitely... it gives you more benefit than not. We saw it there against two big decks that I think we're going to see a lot of at this Atlanta Regional. But before I go, if you've enjoyed the content, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, comment on it. Keep an eye out. Like I said, I am heading to the Atlanta Regionals. I am going to be playing this deck, and I'm going to be making a little vlog while I'm there. So check back to the channel afterwards to get a full recap of how my weekend gone for my first major. I'm just excited to go for the experience and learn. Of course, the goal is, of course, like a day 2 or anything like that. But my main goal is to just have fun, learn, and also just get that exposure to a big major 10 hours a day. I was originally thinking Tera Box was going to be my deck of choice, but honestly, just the more I thought about it, playing Tera Box, which requires so much thinking and so much every deck requires thinking. I don't think really any deck is kind of an autoplay, but a deck like Tera Box really requires you to be thinking multiple hands ahead. I think by the end of like a 10-hour day doing that, I think my brain would hate me. And so I decided to go for something a little bit more simplistic in nature, more railroad. I have a goal. It's pretty easy to get to it. And we'll see how it treats me. So definitely thank you all so much for watching. If you're planning to go to the regionals, let me know here or maybe on that next video how it goes for you. And I will see you in the next one.